But I think he's going to stick around just because we need people. In the summer, we should definitely be revisiting it, because like this is the prime of his career. He should be a top player. We bought him for I think 35-ish million, something like that. Like, should be a top player, and he's got the ability. It's just the consistency that I get really pissed off with, because there's no need, especially with some of the passes he can pick. Like against United, like he was just picking out all these like reverse passes that were just getting people so open. Like he sees things that other people don't. I've always said that, but he the
assist for Mason Mount as well against West Ham.
Yeah, exactly. That was a fantastic ball. I mean, Mason made it with the finish, but that was a great crossfield ball, and that was perfect for him. But then he just loses the ball in stupid positions 2 or 3 times a game. It's like, you don't need to. You really don't need to.
Yeah, man. That's with them players, man. That's what you get. But I think, like, if he look like with Bruno, United boys can overlook it because his goal contributions is so high. But Ziyech is not there yet, so obviously, I think if he was there, then you probably would look away. But yeah, it's not there. All right, cool. So let's go to Spurs then. After Antonio Conte came out after the Conference League game, saying that this Spurs team is basically whack and it will be the hardest rebuild job in the history of rebuilds. The players have responded fantastically since, though. Obviously, the game that weekend was cancelled versus Burnley, but they've recorded back-to-back wins against low flyers Brentford and Norwich. More importantly, they've kept clean sheets in both games. So Toast, albeit against clear weaker opposition and at home, it seems that obviously Antonio has found, he's low-key drumming it home to these players, bar Sir Harold Kane. I mean, we keep mentioning this fella. I said he will not score more than 15 goals. You Donnies called me crazy. We are in December right now. He's still on 1 goal, I think.
Yeah, 1 goal.
Can we finally start talking about a decline, or is he still doubling down? This is a question for everyone as well, but Toast.
It's to be honest, I've not really been paying attention to the Tottenham game since Conte's come in. So I mean, like pre-Conte, he was looking poor, but Harry Kane being Kane, I thought, you know what, he's going to find a way to bag. But I would be interested to see how he's actually been playing over the last couple of games, and that will probably give me a bit more of an indication in terms of how the rest of his season's going to go. I mean,
even today, like, sorry, Toast. Even today, right? They've scored 3 goals. He's got no goal involvements. It's like it's not typical.
It's an interesting one, but for me, this is somebody that has the trajectory to beat Alan Shearer's record, probably the Premier League record. Sorry, probably the only player who even has a chance to come close to it. So I can't say in good conscience in December that Harry Kane is finished. You know what I mean? Because this is somebody that has consistently done it, like in every ground, in every competition, at every level. So, I mean, something has to give at some point. Tottenham are winning games now. And you know what Harry Kane's like. When he smells blood, once he scores 1, the rest will follow. And I'm expecting that to continue at some point.
What I'll say, just to add on to that, is like the last 3 games, because Son has kicked off, right? He's got a goal and assist today against Norwich. He got not the deciding goal, but like the finishing goal against Brentford, that second goal. And so Son's expected goal involvement was like 1.1. So he was only supposed to get either 1 goal or assist, really, but he's got 2 goals and an assist. Kane has got 2. So he's doubled what Son expected to do, in big quotation marks, but he's got no reward for it. So he's definitely improved. Like, by what I've read so far, he looks a lot more like the player we saw under Mourinho. He just hasn't been able to break that duck yet. But is he going to hit 15? I don't think so. But I'm like Toast. I just can't see a way that Harry Kane doesn't eventually shape up.
Yeah,
like, it's a bad season for him already. That's a fact. Like, waiting for this long. I mean, you just go on Twitter now. It's like, oh yeah, Fred scored more Premier League goals. Steve Origi in 40 minutes of Premier League action has scored as many Premier League goals. It's just like, that's when you know you've had a bad season at this point.
Yeah, it's tight.
But I think there's a bounce back coming. even if it is like, even if he just gets to double digits at this point for goals, it's like you haven't saved your season, but you're proving you're not done yet. Because at the end of the day, he's now got a 5-month audition for the summer for someone to come by him. That's what he has to look at it right now. It's like I need to prove myself over the next 5 months that I am still Harry Kane, and hope that someone comes in for me in the summer of massive striker movement that we all predict is going to happen.
Let's see, man. Press, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm still of the opinion that Kane is far from dusted, but he does need to get his act together. I feel like we will begin to see more of Kane in terms of the goals, because I feel like everything around Kane at the moment, from what I've seen of Tottenham under Conte, seems to be clicking into shape, certainly over the past 2 games. But I don't know, like, yeah, Kane had a couple of chances today, but
he puts them in the conference, though.
Yeah, he does.
He scores in that competition, so
he does seem to. So I mean, it's not like he's completely lost the ability to do it. It's just, I don't know. He's got this glass ceiling over his head in the Premier League, which I think eventually he will break through. So we'll just have to sit tight, man, for now.
All right, let's see, man. All right, Jake. Obviously, in the Arsenal segment, we was talking about the battle of top 4. Obviously, like I said, it's looking like it's going to be between Spurs, West Ham, Arsenal, and United for that 4th spot. As you're a big fan of Conte, do you think that Spurs still have the best papers, in your opinion, to secure that 4th?
Well, that is a really good question. I think the way West Ham are playing at the minute, they deserve to be favoured.
Bro, we said that about Leicester, man.
Yeah, we did, but that's Brendan Rodgers, and he's proved it twice now. He's proved it 3 times really. That he loves a late season shitter. But like this West Ham team, they play well. They play to their opposition. Like they take on their challenges. They've got goals all around the pitch. Like Jared Bowen at the minute looks fantastic.
I love that guy, man.
Yeah. And you think someone like they bought Vlasic, in the summer from Moscow, from CSKA. He hasn't done a thing, but that's the sort of signing that could kick off in the second half. You've got Ben Rama, who's still doing well. Like Antonio has, I think, 1 goal in his last 11 games. Yeah. But like they're still creaking out these results. Like you just think of them from set pieces, like the amount of sheer size they can put out. You can put out Zuma, Dawson, Diop, Souček, and Rice. Like, how do you defend that just from set pieces? And they proved it because they're the highest goal scorers, I think, outside of Liverpool. So they definitely deserve it. I think Spurs, if they're going to make a challenge for top 4, A is just getting Harry Kane scoring. You need him and Son on form. And B, it's your defensive solidarity. I mean, you're still trotting out Ben Davis at left centre-back, Eric Dyer at centre-back, and Davinson Sanchez at right centre-back, because I think Romero is done now for at least the rest of December.
Injured? Is he injured? Okay.
Yeah, he got injured in, what was it, again, in the midweek game before Burnley? I think he got injured. And Conte's already said he's out until at least the new year, if not longer. So they've really, they've kept clean sheets in the last 2. Yes, it's against Brentford and Norwich. And Brentford Brentford did have Tony in that game. So I can see him doing it, but do I think it's likely? No. And do West Ham deserve to be favoured over them? Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. And then you've got United, who under Rangnick, could they do something easily? It's just whether or not they can continue that momentum.
Bro, with United, I'm not even looking at Rangnick, man. I'm just looking at one guy and one guy only that will take him to the promised land. So therefore, for me, United have the best papers. Obviously, United should be doing way better than challenging for the top 4 with these, man. So I think, in my opinion, they would claim it eventually.
That's fair. Like they definitely have the squad for it. But I mean, I don't know what the points gap is now, but West Ham can sit there and deservedly. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, that's fact.
Deservedly say. I mean, right now to United, it's only 3 points. Spurs, if they win their game in hand, they go above United. If Arsenal win their game in hand, they're 1 point behind West Ham. So it is massively tight between those guys. And like Arsenal get the benefit of no Europe right.
Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting.
Without a shadow of a doubt, like, it's going to be a great contest. That's the main thing. You've got a great title race and you've got a great race for Europe. Like, that makes an exciting Premier League.
Prez, not to shit on your parade even further, but obviously, like, this is obviously not what you envisioned your season to be, in it. But do you still think, like, obviously, as confident as you are and the teams that you're surrounded with for the top four, do you think as well that you guys should, not as in should in terms of like you have the players, of course you do, but do you think you would ultimately get it regardless because of...
That's the minimum at this point.
But I mean, what do you think? Are you confident?
Yeah, I am confident that it will happen. I feel like if you look at West Ham, yes, they're in, they had a little bit of a slide in their last couple of games in the Premier League, actually, albeit against one of those games being against City. But
after the Liverpool game, they haven't won, in it, until Chelsea, I think.
They won their game in the Europa League. After the Liverpool game, they had a little bit of a slide in the Premier League, and I expect them to have a few more of them over the course of the season. Not saying that they're unable of putting a run of games together where they win, but I just feel like their lack of experience maybe will start to tell in terms of them as a team being able to cement their place inside the top four, especially with the teams around them, like your Uniteds, like your Tottenhams, and I'm sure you'll see, the likes of the Arsenal start to come through as well. So I think having to compete with that, and on top of the fact that they haven't really been there like that consistently, we'll play into the likes of United's hands, and I think we will ultimately, seal that top four spot. But yeah, man, like you say, it wasn't what we envisaged for our season, like you rightly said, but that should be the minimum expectation at this point.
Yeah. Toast, what about you guys? I know you're also negative. You don't expect anything, but you're still in the round. If you beat West Ham, you're 1 point off. You're 1 point. If you beat Everton, you're 1 point off West Ham. Sorry, even though Spurs got a game in hand as well, they might leapfrog you. But what do you think? Are you confident of getting up fourth?
I mean, yeah, like you said, innit, we're in the mix. It's only 14 games in, so it's another 24 to go. But my biggest issue is the lack of goals. We're still -3 goal difference somehow, like coming towards the end of the year. We're not scoring enough, so unfortunately, the lack of goals is not going to make up for our defensive deficiencies. If we were keeping clean sheets, I'd be more confident that we can nick a couple of wins here and there. Unfortunately, we're not scoring enough right now, so I don't give us a great chance of making top four unless the defense significantly improves, man.
It's funny that you say that, Toast, because speaking to the Arsenal, some of the Arsenal fans, they feel like Arteta has actually got the defensive aspects of his tactics down pat, but it's the going forward part of it that they seem to be a little bit clueless in. So it's interesting that you say that.
I still disagree, man. Just based on having conceded 3 at Old Trafford, conceded 4 at Anfield. I think we conceded, was it 4 or 5 at City? Where in these big games, I mean, the big games are the games I'm expecting to see this, like, coming in with a system, this defensive stability. We're still not seeing it. It's just same old Arsenal, really, man. So it leaves a lot to be desired, in my opinion, man.
And especially when West Ham is also getting results against the same teams that are giving you 4-5, So I understand where Toast is coming from.
Exactly.
Yeah. Prez, before we finish off with Spurs, just want to talk about Dele Alli, man. It's been under intense scrutiny for years now. One of the greatest fall-offs I've ever seen, because I was a huge fan. Curious case is definitely pending. Conte came out and said when he first signed that Ali has a future under him, but in these last 2 games against these promoted teams, Ali has been an unused substitute. What has happened to him, in your opinion? Like, what is it?
Yeah, for me, how old is he? He's like, what, 24, 25, something like that?
Still very young, yeah.
Yeah, so still fairly young in his career. He hit, unimaginable heights of success